Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking all about internships and my personal experience with business internships. It's a little warm today, so I don't feel like having my blazer on the whole entire time, but just know, I'm dressing professional every day at work. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by saying if you're a kid, you're probably not interested, but you should come back to this video when you're at the end of high school, beginning of college. This stuff's important. Another little disclaimer, I'm not really sure how other majors work. I'm a business major, I'm doing HR. You might be doing some other thing in business and have it be a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure anyone who's doing business has like a very similar structure, as well as basically anyone looking for a job or internship. Let me go ahead and start by you have to have a LinkedIn. So a LinkedIn profile is very important because this is how people can see not only all of like your information, but they also get to see your face. So I'm going to bring my LinkedIn over here and kind of just talk about a few things that are on there. So I currently have written down where I'm working, and I have a little about section. I just talk about what my first job was, which was a tutor at college. I talk about how I worked at Starbucks and how I had like another HR internship last year, and just talk about kind of some things that I've gained from those jobs. Like I mentioned that my charismatic personality was used at tutoring, or that I used my warm smile and multitasking skills at Starbucks. So kind of just describing things that people would like to see or to have in their companies from you. Does that make sense? Next, I have my experience, my education, and then previous volunteer experience. And then my dad has like endorsed me with skills. I think it's what it's called. I don't know. Skills and endorsements is the section. I'll put a little picture of it right here. I was endorsed for being able to use Microsoft Office, being a good manager, and great customer service. It also says a few things I'm interested in on my LinkedIn, as well as the two languages that I speak, which are Arabic and English, as you guys know. So I have a professional picture of myself up there. I'm not showing skin really, just have a short sleeve shirt on. Okay, number 2, have a resume and a cover letter. I actually don't have a cover letter, so I don't think it's 100% necessary. However, in case you don't know what a cover letter is, it's basically where you're writing about why you want the job that you applied for, why you love the company, and you can always make a general cover letter where you basically kind of just fill in the company's name. That way you don't have to keep rewriting a cover letter every time you apply to a place, because it obviously gets hard, repetitive, and very time consuming. So you can find example resumes online very easily. So of course you have to have your phone number on there, your email. Your objective is pretty important. I've actually seen a lot of people's resumes before, and they just write about like, okay, I really want, for example, this internship at this company. Like that's the objective. My objective is to secure a challenging HR internship where I can utilize my excellent skills and augment my university studies and HR operations internship at my previous company that I worked at. Next, I have my skills. I just talk about stuff like I have effective multitasking and time management skills. I'm dedicated to providing excellent customer service and exceeding organizational goals. So I just have a little like cool stuff like that about me and stuff that I've learned through my past jobs. So that's number 2, resume and cover letter. Number 3 is applying. Apply, apply, apply. I could not stress applying enough for so many reasons. So let me first start out by saying that people work on creating the job posting from the summer before. For example, for the people who hired this summer, they have been working on this internship and posting the job for this internship a summer before, which is what I know because I'm in HR and we talk about like job postings and stuff like that. Keeping that in mind, they try to have these things posted fall time. So if you're looking for internships and you want to be an early applier, apply in the fall. I would say keep an eye out in October, but definitely start applying in November and December. And when I say that I applied to a million internships, by the way, I know like my red fingers bother a lot of people. I don't know why my hands are so red. Ignore that. When I say that I've applied to a million places, I'm not even being sarcastic. I would just go through the list of internships that have opening. I don't care what company it is. I apply to everything as long as they're paying, because there's like some places where you can do an internship and not get paid, which I like, honestly, I feel like my time is too valuable to not be paid for. Like I don't want to be putting hard work and then be broke. I would go through that list and apply to everything. And let me tell you guys, it is time consuming, but you need to do it. So I've heard people being like, oh, I applied here and here, 2 places. They don't get a call back. it sucks, but for, I would say, at least 70 to 80% of the companies you apply to, you will not get a response, and it is so sad. Nothing I hate more than, let me read you guys one of my worst nightmares. And just so you know, when you guys are applying for internships, you are going to get plenty of these emails, and every time you receive one, your heart will sink because it is not fun getting rejected. Dear Sarah, thank you for your interest in blank company. We appreciate the time and effort you've invested. We also appreciate the fact that we are a company you can see yourself working for. The second you like read thank you for your interest in it, and it's from an automatic kind of message system, you already know you're rejected. And here's the sentence that makes me want to die. Unfortunately, the position is no longer available at this time. And sometimes you'll read, unfortunately, this position has been filled. And it's like, okay. And the second I get an email like that, I'm not trying to look at it. I literally still receive emails like that from the internships I've applied to months ago. And even though I have an internship now, I'll still be sad about the fact that they rejected me. It's bizarre. Anyways, you have to expect rejection. And the only way to get some recruiter to call you back is one, have an amazing, amazing resume, and two, by applying to so many places that your chances only can get greater because you've applied to so many places. This year, I
applied to so many places that I got a good amount of callbacks and therefore spent hours on end studying how to ace an interview.
So I'd sit with Daniel, we'd go through interview questions, common interview questions, and we'd literally plan out what I'm going to say because everyone's personality is a little bit different. My brain goes blank when I'm under a lot of pressure, and when you are on that interview phone call, you are under a lot of pressure. When you are in person with the interviewer, 10 times as much pressure. So when I'm on the phone, I honestly read off the paper but make it sound natural. Definitely do not go apply and then wing it. No, like big no. Do your research, plan out interview questions and answers, and just practice your interview questions because like the second you get an interview, that's when you gotta work your butt off and get that third interview and work your butt off even harder, even though nothing's worse than doing your third and final interview and not getting the internship. It's like, who is better than me? Okay. You've been applying November, December, January, applying over and over and over to different companies. And you finally had some responses from recruiters. Let's just say 2 or 3 people emailing you going, hey, we're interested in you. When are you free to do an interview phone call with us? Now, this would be step 4, which I've already kind of covered, having your interview questions laid out with the answers in front of you when you're about to do your phone call, which you have practiced. Let's say you've aced that phone call interview and now they call you in. Now this is when you can't be laying a paper out in front of you. However, you do have practice and practice and practice that you could be using towards that interview. Now I would say that something to keep in mind when you're going in for an interview, of course, dress appropriately, blah, 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 you already know all that stuff. Just take a deep breath. All they want to know is about you and if you're a fit for the company. So when you're sitting in that seat and you cannot stop shaking, which happens to me all the time, I just take a deep breath and I recall everything that's in my brain that I've been practicing for ever so long and just pray for the best. Honestly, a lot of the times it's a lot of luck. I would say getting an internship is so much luck, aside from having a great resume, because you'll think you just had the best interview ever and you won't get the internship. Finally, step number 5, don't give up. And I know it's the cheesiest statement ever, but this is where I get to tell you about my story this year, and it's not a very fun one, but I ended up somewhere and I'm so happy about it. So this year I applied to 30 more internships than I applied to last year, which was about, I don't know, like I applied to maybe 20 last year. I applied to a lot this year. I've gone in for interviews multiple times. I've reached a 3rd and final interview. I'd say 4 times I've reached the 3rd and final interview. Each time I'm like, I aced it. That was awesome. I'm so getting this one. For sure going to get this one. Every time I left an interview thinking it was the best interview ever and then I aced it, I end up getting rejected. And getting an email rejection from a robot is bad enough after you haven't even had an interview. Like I told you, some people automatically send rejection just because their internship position has been filled. But after you've done 3 interviews and you get an email from a recruiter saying, thank you so much for interviewing with us, but we have not, like, we've chosen someone else. It's the worst feeling ever. And I know I'm a sensitive, emotional freaking girl, but I would just run to my room and cry. I would cry and cry because I'm like, man, I did so well. I'm so personable. I studied probably harder than anyone else has, because I'm telling you, I would spend hours studying interview questions. Who could have possibly done better than me? Who has the experience that I have? I have 2 years at Starbucks. I have a previous internship with HR. Like, who wouldn't want me? I'm about to graduate and get my degree. Basically, just to come to the conclusion that it wasn't meant to be. At that time, while I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get any internships, whatever, I go back on Glassdoor. Glassdoor is what I use. You can use LinkedIn to apply. Indeed is a big one. And then Glassdoor, like I said. My school uses Handshake. So I go back on Glassdoor and I'm like, let me just see if for some reason there's just any other job on there. I wanted specifically an internship because companies treat interns so well. There's always events for the interns. So just fun stuff going on at work, and then like the management like really keeps an eye on you and make sure they're always answering your questions. I feel like the attention you get as an intern is just so surreal and so great. That's why I was striving so hard for an internship rather than a job, even though I could easily take up a full-time job. I'm scrolling and I see an internship. I'm like, huh? So I click on it, I apply, I get a call back, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, hey, just tell me like when you're graduating and stuff. I was like, okay, just told them like easy stuff. I hang up, they're like, okay, let's do another interview like in a couple days. I do another interview with them and it's going great. They're like, okay, well, we'll just like keep in touch with you. Cool. I'm like, all right, I already know I'm not gonna get it, but I'm just still gonna try really, really hard because you never know. Literally a few hours later, I get an email saying, hey, are you free soon so that we can call you? We just have a few more questions for you. And I'm like, okay, that's odd, but I'm always ready to pounce on a new opportunity and work really hard for it. So I'm like, yeah, you feel free to call me in the next 2 hours. I get a call right away, and basically they're like, you got the job. Yeah! And I was feeling every emotion in that second that they said that. So ladies and gents, after a lot of rejection, tears, and hard work, I finally got an internship for this summer. You know how I told you that Daniel kept telling me just keep trying and pushing yourself and working hard because you'll end up with something better? Over the phone, I learned that the internship is 1 year.
So basically, Daniel was right. All that hard work and patience was very worth it because I ended up with a 1-year internship rather than a short 3-month internship where I have to end up looking for a career after.
So to film this video and make sure I was giving enough information, I looked up common questions about internships and I tried to cover most of them. I think I have, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment them down below. I will be reading all of my comments as I always do. I only get like 10 anyways. And I will make sure to have them answered for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that I was able to inspire you to apply to a million internships. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!